So oh, hey there, Qua, I see your hand wave. Thanks. So I'm just going to jump right into it. And if anybody has any comments, questions, or good jokes or whatever, just let me know. And I'll try and catch your chat on the upswing. Okay, so this is Crypto Queen. Today we're going to be talking about the dangers and possibilities of crypto. And I'm a little scribe. And basically, my goal here today is to mainstream all things crypto for the masses. So today we're going to be discussing some of the dangers and the fabulous possibilities with blockchain and cryptocurrency. I'll be using a couple of examples referring to information from people who I consider to be a lot smarter than I am. And if you're here in the chats, give me your input. If not, I'll take comments after the fact. This show is live currently on Sunday, the 24th of May. It is 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so whatever that means for you, wherever you are. I just want to say good everything to everyone. Remember, if you like my content, be sure and share with your friends. You can follow me on Vim, Hive, Facebook, YouTube, soon to be Mixer, probably 3Speak as well. And that way you'll know I am going live. You can also listen to the Crypto Queen podcast anytime after the fact on YouTube at Dear Little Scribe and on Anchor.fm, and it's called Crypto Queen. I'll probably have to just line everything up so it's all Crypto Queen, so I'm not confusing everybody because I've always just gone by Little Scribe. But for now, if you want to get the podcast, you can get it on any major podcast server. It's just called Crypto Queen. So the first order of business, I just want y'all to say hello if you're on. And hey, I don't know how to say your name. Solo Miner, thanks for joining us. And it looks like our guest, Edicted, is on his way. Let me just type him a little message. I'm okay, that was for Edicted. I feel like Edicted is a good word because it's like an edict, but you're addicted. Oh, I'm so glad you saw it. Yes, Solo Miner, thanks for joining us today. Let me make sure I'm not missing anyone in the Vim and Facebook chats. If y'all want to, I'm just looking at like 3 different chats right now. I'm pretty confident to do it, but eventually I'll pull them all in one place. I will either have like one chat feature where it just pulls them all into one place, or y'all can just come and join me on wherever you want to join me is. So, oh, thanks for the upvote, Vim. Thanks. Okay, you guys. Let's see. I dropped 25 Hive on PhD promotion. I still don't get hours. Aww. Oh my gosh, we're getting some people. Hey, Firsty. I haven't seen you in a while. What's this business about moving to Norway? I thought you were in Peru still, so we need to get some updates on that. But it's great to see you. And Blue Robo, always a fave, always a fave. Of course, Mr. Farmer, you know I love you. You know I do. And Edicted, thanks so much for coming because you're going to be my guest speaker today. Aren't you glad I gave you some warning? Aren't you glad? And then always a love is Hive Qua. He kind of makes this happen. I don't know where we would be in general, let alone on this show, without Mr. Qua. Without the Mr. Qua. So just make sure, guys. Oh, Firsty, I kind of miss you in like lots of different ways. We do need to chat. Okay, so today's show is super, super exciting because we're going to basically be talking about 2 issues. Number 1, the dangers of crypto, and number 2, the pluses of crypto. And I've narrowed it down to like super basic examples of it, okay? And first stick in, I feel like I should have done my homework. Let me go see if you're on the list. I feel like you are on the list because let's just check this. The one, you know, the one that we're talking about where Firstigan. I don't see you on the list, Firsty. Did you pull out before the Shazam happened? I'm seeing on the list of all of the 65 Steam accounts whose Steam and SBD assets were expropriated by HF23. Why are you not on there? You must have pulled out before it got bad. Or maybe you like laid low under the radar. That's so weird. Anyways, point being, we're about to get up into the discussion of the dangers of crypto. And I'm kind of basing my discussion today on this very hairy little example that we just experienced a few days ago that has been very well explained and argued by a couple of favorites. One is Addicted, and he takes a harder stance, saying that this hard fork that just occurred, and we'll go over it, but the hard fork that just occurred is not theft. And then we're going to take the stand, or we're going to take a look at some arguments from apps. How do I pronounce this? As my screen wigs out. What is it? Okay, that's the wrong one. Please hold. Apps Hamilton. Thank you. Apps Hamilton is fully in Israel right now, and it's like 1 a.m. I kind of begged him and his friend to come on because they're the legal people to discuss this. So if they aren't here tonight, I'm going to do my best to just read the notes that they've provided. But I do want to thank Addicted for representing in the flesh, in the actual flesh. All right. Okay. So what we have here, the first order of business, and I know that this is kind of an oversaturated subject on Justin Sun, but I feel like he's this perfect exemplary of what not to do. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. What not to do on the blockchain, or what to do if you want to be a total creep. That's one option. What to do if you want to totally exploit people. So, and hold on, let me shrink my little page so I can read what I'm reading. And we're looking good. You guys tell me if like anything goes out, like voice or video or whatever. Okay. So I have, sorry, I'm kind of blah on this page. Okay. So now again, let me back up just a little bit. I know all of you guys know this story, but not all of my listeners know the story. And because this will be broadcast after the fact, and you can get this live, or you can get it on a podcast through your favorite podcast server, or you can get it on YouTube. I just really want to make specificities here for people who aren't familiar with the story, okay? So we're going to do a little bit of a background story, and most of you in my audience today know the story, but it's essentially this. Justin Sun bought out DLive recently. We all know that DLive originally started on the Steam blockchain a couple of years ago, built up its user base, built up its technology, built up its coin, its quote unquote decentralized tokenized system. And then they ditched Steam and went over to the Lino blockchain. I think I'm pronouncing that right? Lino? I feel like it's Lino. We're going to go with that. And so they went over to the Lino blockchain, and if Eric Wilson, or if Eric Wilson shows up today, he's going to probably have a much better explanation, but just going to give a summary here. And DLive essentially went over to a different blockchain and started up a brand new coin. And then its users were treated essentially the same, but it was just a different set of economy. So then they start going, as far as I understand, bankrupt or getting into some trouble. So then Justin Sun comes along and he says, hey, I'll buy you guys. How about I buy you guys up? And here's what's interesting is I'm sitting here thinking, oh, that's really entrepreneurial of you, Justin Sun. But no. That is not what this was. Well, no, it was entrepreneurial. But here's where we get into some dangers of crypto. Is Justin Sun comes in and he says, oh, I'm going to save your business. And then he says, but just so you know, we're going to be switching again to a new blockchain. And that blockchain is, I don't know, Tron. And also, if you want to access all of your assets and coins, totes fine. Totes my goats fine. But you're going to have to go through the Bittrex exchange, which also happens to be mine. I don't know if that matters to anyone. The BitTorrent. So he says, totally, you guys are all good, but you know, if you make fun of me, Addicted, totes. You guys are all good. You can get your assets, but you have to go through Bittrex, which is owned by me, which also I'm going to be charging fees for those exchanges. I hope no one minds too much. Okay, so that's what this is about. This is about, oh, look at this. Somebody has a blockchain product and there's thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of users, many of whom followed PewDiePie coming over from wherever it was, YouTube, Twitch. And then he says, oh, look at all these users that are buying up Lemon on the Lino blockchain. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make that unavailable to these people, just temporarily, mind you. And we're going to move it over to a new blockchain because that's what this is, this sort of the smoke and mirrors is, we need to move it to a new blockchain. But really what it's about is we just need to come up with an excuse so that we can have a front of what we're really doing, which is we're going to basically make it so we have to fee. We're just take a little fee off the top of your exchanges. So that's just about that. It's just about creating a fee. Now, this is not illegal. And according to, who's my short fat otaku, he talks about this at great length on his recent YouTube post. And he says, it's called DLive is worse than we thought. That's the name of the post. It's fairly new. And he actually quotes one of our locals, Eric Wilson. What, am I saying that right? Eric Wilson? Am I getting that right? Hold on. Yeah, Eric Wilson. I had to check. Eric Wilson, if he were here, he'd probably be correcting me every 5 seconds. But what they did was not illegal. But Short Fat Otaku says, I wonder if in a year or two's time, you guys see where this is going. In a year or two's time, assuming DLive is still around, if they transfer away from the BitTorrent ecosystem of Bittrex to another blockchain, will there be another transfer fee? Well, you know there will be. I don't know if it's gonna come down to the DLive I think he'll probably just find another blockchain. He'll go and he will prowl the universe and find his next victim. His most recent one was Steem. And he's gonna charge a fee, and there will be, once again, you'll have to use the owner of the company's proprietary software or something that makes the transfer, and there's a charge associated with that as well. And so Short Fat Otaku says it's not a scam, but it's like super on the edge of being a scam. I think it's a total scam, but it's not illegal. It's not even like specifically unethical, because he's not taking your funds from you as much as he's just funneling them into a place that requires a surcharge. And I mean, what institution doesn't do that? The difference is that he's forcing you into one particular exchange. That's where it gets a little bit sleazy. Thank you, Blue Robo. Little bit sleazy in my mind. Like, I bank at US Bank. I'm not being forced to bank at US Bank. I could bank at Bank of America. I could bank at Wells Fargo. The difference here is that the Steem blockchain and the DLive blockchains, they have their own cryptocurrency. And with the Steem blockchain, which is now the Hive blockchain, we've kind of forked away. Of course, there's two now. block trades has been kind of our go-to exchange point, and I think we've all sort of agreed on that because he's offering a service, which is we can take our Hive and we can convert it into another cryptocurrency, which can then be converted into whatever crypto or fiat of our choosing. So this has been, in our estimation, something of a service that we appreciate. And of course, when there's a service, there's going to be some kind of a fee. So it's their prerogative to provide that. And it's their prerogative to require a fee. Most, if not all, exchanges require a fee. Later on this afternoon, we're going to talk about an exchange that is feeless and also does not require you to convert into another crypto before converting it into your own fiat. And that is Blockcard. So go look that up because we're going to be talking about it later, and it's extremely important for this blockchain. I think any blockchain alive that has any kind of crypto or token or smart media token that wants to make it an actual viable source of currency where you can take it to like Walmart and be like, hey, I just like blogged for 5 days and made $50. I just want to go buy a loaf of bread. To me, I don't think it should be limited to anywhere. I think this should be available everywhere. And they are growing super, super fast, super huge. We're going to talk about that, you guys, because if we start signing up for this product, and thank you for dropping that link, Kwa. Thank you. If we start signing up for this product and we can get like, you know, a few hundred to 1,000 active users, and by active users, it just means transacting on their exchange. What they will do for us is they will list Hive token on their exchange, which means we have a 1-point transfer to a credit card that you then take to Walmart and buy a loaf of bread. We'll get into that later. Okay, so that's the first example of some really fun little things that can be sort of dangerous for the blockchain and for cryptocurrency. If someone can come along and be like, oh, we're gonna hard fork you, or we're gonna just put a freeze on these assets and then open you back up somewhere else that now suddenly requires a fee, an exchange fee. Okay, it's like not so bad. We've been there, done that. Not a huge thing, but definitely something to keep in mind. What it does, though, is that kind of freaks me out because you're looking at it and you're going, wait, what else are we capable? What else is he capable of? He fully just froze the entire DLive blockchain asset trail with, of course, the permission of the people, because that's all there was. All there was. That's why I think it's nice when we're decentralized. Supposedly, the new Hive hard fork is decentralized. I've experienced that firsthand from individuals who I have attempted to do some work with. And their response to me has been, oh, and I'm talking about like Hive.io. Their response to me has been, oh, we work together, we're decentralized, we try not to pick and choose what we promote and what we don't. Because I wanted to promote the Blockcard and they were excited about it, but they're like, it's not our job to promote. But what we will do is we're going to help promote it once you get that listing. So that was really cool to me. I kind of thought that was a little bit cool. Makes my job harder, makes our job a little harder, but if something really is worthwhile, it'll happen, and then they'll promote the AMA. Okay, moving on to the next example. And let me just go check my chats because I am not super. Okay, Bob Ski Bob just followed. Oh, Bob Ski Bob. He's Bob Ski Bob. I love that. I love that name. Bob Ski Bob, you are so welcome. Thank you so much for following. If you want to, you can also join us on the Hive live chat. If someone wants to go over to the Vim chat and drop him the link to the Hive live, or just not, that's fine too. It's just a little more active over there. Oh, Frankie forgot to say hello. How are you, Frankie? Always good to see you. Always a pleasure. The pleasure is mine. Okay, so the next step, this is where it gets a little more exciting, and this is why I think y'all are here today, is because we're going to talk a little bit about something kind of sneaky that just happened. Now, before I get into that, I want to remind you that when DLive was on the Lino blockchain, it seemed to be working just fine. Peeps could cash out their earnings into PayPal or even have it directly deposited to their bank accounts, from what I understand. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I think that that's where we want to be. We want to be at that point. We want to be where like, oh, I totally just like played Call of Duty and I got a bunch of lemon and I got a bunch of Lino. Actually, I don't know if there's Lino token or not. I just made that up. But let's just say, or I'm gaming on Vim. I'm gaming on Vim and I'm playing my Call of Duty. I'm playing my Apex shooter and I'm just like, dude, I'm so rocking it. And I totally just got voted up by Vim itself. And I made like $50,000. Not really, but then what am I going to do with that? Well, I have to go to Blocktrades. I got to cash it into Ether. And then I got to cash it into my wallet, my Coinbase. And then I got to turn it into my bank account. And then in 5 to 7 days, I'll be able to access it. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm glad. I'm happy we have a way. But what about all the new users who are coming to these blockchains, who are coming to Tron, who are coming to Steem, who are coming to Hive, who are coming to Ethereum? And they're just like, wait, what's this thing called cryptocurrency? Wait, what's this thing called a crypto exchange? And there's a fee and it takes, and Ethereum processes transactions every 15 seconds. Therefore, I won't see my money for another 5 days. What? Okay, so I kind of feel like the DLive blockchain was handling that really well, and they came up with a solution so people could kind of dump it directly into their bank accounts. This was super cool. And this is why when we talk about Block Card, you guys, I really want to know your input. So here's where it gets really interesting. Is Steem Hard Fork 23 pulling stake away from targeted Hive users? Here's what's interesting. Is Hard Fork 23 and Hard Fork 22 are simultaneously being used. Like they're simultaneously being deployed. What that means is like you can do either one. Anybody want to raise their hand and tell the class what happened with Steem Hard Fork 23? Hey Apex, thanks for joining us. Steem Hard Fork 23 pulled the stake away from, as far as I understand, 65 targeted individuals. I will read some of them. We'll start. Abuse reports. Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, obviously, for those listening, it's not the actual Bernie Sanders. It's just a character on Steem who owns a lot of money. A lot of assets on the Steem blockchain. King Dong, Next Gen Crypto, Sock Puppet, The Cyclist, XOOX or XXOXX. We, in this group, in this chat, a lot of us know they call me Dan. We're all familiar with Blocktrades. Some of us are familiar with Acidio, David, Ospit Bank. Who else? Marky Mark, Neoxian. I mean, guys, these are like our neighbors that we talk to every day on a regular basis. Smooth, Safari, Smooth has like 10 different accounts. But, okay. So here's what's interesting to me is, let me get back to the chat so I can see what the heck I'm doing. And this is what's interesting. Okay. You guys, I don't even know where to begin because I feel like there's two legitimate arguments going on. One of them has been summarized by Edicted, who's with us today. And the other one has been summarized by, why do I keep forgetting the name? Please hold. It is Apps Hamilton. Apps Hamilton, I believe, is an Australian native, but he's an attorney in native. Edicted, I don't know what you are. You just a guy? You're like a student maybe? But whatever it is you're doing, you made some intelligent arguments from what I could gather. And your arguments are a little bit in conflict with this guy that I just mentioned. Apps Hamilton. And you can go on the mic too, because I'll probably pull you in to talk in a second. California kid, that's what you are. Edicted has the other side. Oh wait, first of all, let me do a screenshot here because You'll see why in a second. This is the way. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, we need to just lay some groundwork and say that Little Scribe has an actual crush on the Mandalorian, and we're gonna get married. And so, no, I seriously, I love the show Mandalorian, and I love the whole "this is the way" edict. Actually, what was the other one though? What was the other one? I have spoken. I have spoken. I kind of want to just be like, every time somebody has something they want to say, and I'm like, well, I don't know what else to add. You know, like you're arguing with someone, I'll just put my hand up and be like, well, I have spoken. So, do you guys not love that total, like everything about that show? Everything about that show. Okay, so we're gonna go to Edicted, and he says, remember when Block Trades explained how a fork is not theft and you ate that up like it was candy? I'm laughing with extreme exuberance at this point in my life because do you guys remember that time? That one time when Block Trades was like, you guys, let's do a hard fork from Steam. And all of our assets are going to be reallocated to a totally different chain. That's not theft. It's just us not being run by this man that we refer to as Justin Sun, JS. Do you guys remember how funny that was? Okay. Looks like Blue Robo agrees with you, Addicted. A fork resulting in a new chain and tokens is not theft. Oh, we disagree. We disagree because a fork that, see, new chain and new tokens is not theft. A fork that takes away assets on an existing chain is theft. So here's where I'm undecided. I'm a little bit on the fence. A little bit on the fancy poo because I come in and I'm like, oh, like I hear about Hive like maybe a month ago and I'm like, oh my gosh, Hive, I'm totally going to try it. And so now does that mean that I am basically a thief? Am I a thief in the night because I own a Hive account? And like 5 of my Steam dollars got transferred over? I'm a total thief in the night. I'm a thief. Blue Robo says, why do I still have Steam and some don't anymore? Because the hard fork, the hard fork 23 targeted only certain individuals. Oh, I was like, I could have sworn you knew this. Blue Robo, I kind of thought you knew that. I'm sitting here explaining like a really basic concept to someone. Okay, so your argument is, why do I have... Okay, so your argument is, why do I have Steam and some don't anymore? Are you referring to a hard fork 23 or hard fork when Hive hard forked? Because that's a different argument. But let's read what Edicted says, okay? Edicted, you're welcome to hop on mic, or you can just chat in the chats. Either way, you there?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Let me get my mic a little closer to the computer because you're a little soft. If you could, like, maybe make it a little louder, but whatever. Fine, either way.
I mean, so I don't know how loud I am.
Well, I'm super loud. I tend to be loud, so I'll try not to be, like, overly loud. Okay, the part that I wanted to focus on in your argument, Edicted, is actually the lion's den. Let me scroll down to the lion's den. Okay. Here you say this. I think this is an interesting argument. Because last night the discussion that I was participating in was like, how are we going to sue Justin Sun? How are we going to get even? Because what he did, I haven't even given the basic story. What he did is, well, no, we gave the story, is he basically made for the mainstream listeners, he made a technical decision to redirect the Steam blockchain so that it basically not only left out 65 particular users, influential users on the Hive blockchain who were part of the hard fork that removed Hive from Steem. He not only left them out, but he also reallocated their assets to keep them on the Steem. So basically, what he did is he's like, you guys don't own these anymore. You're not a part of this. Okay, so we're trying to decide, is that theft? Was it theft for Justin Sun to force a hard fork that left behind owners of significant assets on the Steem blockchain so that they no longer owned those assets that they earned or invested? Okay, does that sound about right? Is that a pretty good summary? Okay, no objections? Okay, so what we're doing is we're like, is this theft, A, and B, what do we do about it if it is? And C, if it's not, what do we do if it's not? Okay, so Edicted takes the position that it is not theft. And I'm going to just kind of read your little wordy words here. And where's the lion's den? You say, do not walk in the lion's den. Wait. That's not actually the part I wanted to read. That is not the part I wanted to read. I had it already. Well, let me just read that anyways, because it's easy to say. So, by continuing this legal crusade against Justin Sun, this is it. We put our own network at risk. When we continue a crusade against Justin Sun for stealing our money, for stealing our assets, we put our own network at risk because we're basically saying a hard fork is theft when you steal funds as part of that hard fork. Hive was not an airdrop. It was not free money. It was not a new asset. Hive was a hard fork from an old blockchain whose funds we reallocated to a new blockchain. The difference is, and here's my own personal argument, and I could be totally wrong, but the difference is, though, is that we didn't go and tell everyone, or we didn't go, when I say we, I mean Hive, okay? The Hive blockchain hard fork did not take funds from people and then reallocate them to different people. All it did was said, hey, you guys, your funds are here now. Your funds are all intact. They're here, and they are here over here now. The difference is with Justin Sun, he went and he scooped up and got a shovel and scooped into somebody's account and said, this is now mine. Tell me why that's the same. Because I get your argument, Addicted. I get it. Okay, but why is that the same? How is that the same?
Well, I started this argument basically like just playing devil's advocate.
Right.
You know? So I was like, okay, let's just argue the other side just cause. And the responses that I got back were just so filled with like blind rage that I was like, wow, you guys are really just tilting. Like you're not thinking about this very, like you're just like blind to it.
Yes.
Like the other side of the argument. So like I kind of doubled down and wrote another post on it.
Okay, cool. No, it's funny because you doubled down because I was like, oh, this kind of cool. This is kind of a good argument. So you're not 100% necessarily convinced that your argument is right, or are you just kind of like, are you backtracking on me, bro?
It's really a matter of perspective.
Okay.
It's like theft defined by who defines theft. Like usually it's a government. We're gonna go to like a government to like tell us how to run business. Like we're trying to get away from the government. So why would we care what the IRS has to think? Why do we care what the Securities Exchange Commission has to think?
Perfect.
Like, the solution to this problem was a fork. We already did the fork. Like we're good.
Like you're basically reiterating what a lot of people here are saying. It's kind of an anarchist approach, and by anarchy I don't mean like crazy loonies with guns in the bushes. I mean like just people who aren't really into government regulation. So, and a lot of those people find themselves a very happy home here in a Hive and at Steem and a lot of blockchain companies. What you're saying is, because I feel like we cannot cut it both ways, okay? And actually, Clay Boyne made the exact same argument last night on Coffee and Philosophy. He said, guys, you cannot have it both ways. If you want the hard forks to be the governing authority on your blockchain, then you can't then also go and hear your case in front of a judge and jury. You can't then say, well, when it doesn't work in our favor, we get to go use and employ government law enforcement agencies. Is that kind of what I'm hearing you say?
The thing is that we actually can, because, Steam is so centralized now, it's a security. So, like, we can go to whoever, in this case, Steam Incorporated. We go to the United States government and we say, hey, Steam Incorporated is breaking the law. Like, go get them. Like, we can do that, but it's like, this is going to happen in the future, and, it's going to happen over and over again. DPoS chains are going to, fork. The communities are going to contentiously split. And when that happens, like, this is going to happen over and over again, where one side nullifies the other side's stake, and the other side does the same thing back. So it's like...
Yeah, you repeated that. You mentioned that in your blog. You said that this is basically, if this is what's going to happen, then it's never going to not happen. When somebody gets pissed off enough, or greedy enough, or angry enough, or powerful enough, or feel like they're justified enough, and they have enough influence, either in the whole or in the parts, either combined or separately, either individually or as a group, they're going to be having a hard fork. And this is something a lot of us predicted years ago. We're like, man, I get that there's 21 of you that you're in a consensus, but one of these days, someone is going to get mad enough that you could buy out the whole blockchain and then have your own consensus. I mean, I remember distinctly having this argument with Tim Cliff literally 18 months ago on my show and saying, how is this not going to happen? And look, it's happening. It's happened like twice now on the same blockchain. So here we have a blockchain that is regulated by consensus in hard forkedness, but really we're a decentralized blockchain. And so we're trying to pretend that we're not centralized. Here's my problem. You're saying that Steam is a security because it is centralized. It is. Currently it is a security because it's centralized. Hive, though, claims to be decentralized, meaning that the majority shares are in multiple hands and no one person or entity makes the decision. So if that's the case, we as Hivians who consider ourselves decentralized, do we have a leg to stand on legally? So let's talk about the legal ramifications, because the argument here is, if you were a Steam before and you lost all value to your assets on a centralized platform, do you have the right to sue? Yes, you do. But what principally speaking, though, as an anarchist or as an extreme libertarian who believes in no government intervention and enforcement except for that which is consensual as a community, a lot of folks are saying, yeah, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, on the one hand, be like, yeah, this is our blockchain community. We come up with the rules. We came in, blah, blah, blah. But then on the other hand, be like, but we don't like how it went. So we're going to go use like what's available. And I gave Clay a really hard time. I really did. I really gave him a hard time. And I was like, and he's like, but it's on principle. He's a very principled guy. He's going to stick to his guns on that. But me, I'm kind of playing the devil's advocate as well. So if we look at the legal arguments, let's look at the legal arguments because, sorry, I kind of have like something in my throat. The legal opinion. Edicted, I want to know your response to these within the realm of your argument that it is not theft, because you're saying in your argument that what Justin Sun did is not theft because a hard fork is not theft. And that's because that would be if it were decentralized. And also Blue Robo disagrees with you. So let's look at the laws of Texas, which is where, as far as I understand, the headquarters, although this gets tricky too. Before Justin Sun came along, the headquarters of Steemit Incorporated were in Austin, Texas. Now that he owns the Steemit Incorporated, we don't know where the headquarters are. We don't know where the headquarters are because Where is he LLC'd? And do we know this? And do we know where he's LLC'd? Anybody know?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
What's...
Is that Louisiana? Blue? L.A.? Delaware? Los Angeles. Oh. Los Angeles. Okay. Well, let's just assume he's in the States. He is LLC'd in the States, which, by the way, Edicted, you made a really, really great argument there as well. Let's go back and review what you said on the LLC issue. It was kind of funny. I had a little giggle. Sorry if it was at people's expense. I shouldn't really giggle about it. Do you know what LLC means? Let's go back to the screen share. I'll do that really quick. Do you know what LLC means? Limited Liability Corporation. You Googled it. LLC will protect your personal assets from claims against the business, including lawsuits. So Justin Sun stole this. We should sue him. OMFG, theft, blah, blah, blah. So no, that is not how it works. And that's true. That is not how it works. And then you say, wake up to the reality of the situation. Incorporation. INC is the abbreviation for incorporated. An incorporated company or a corporation is a separate legal entity from the person or people forming it. Directors and officers purchase shares in the business and have responsibility for its operation, but this limits an individual's liability in case of a lawsuit. So we can't go after Justin Sun. Where did you do this thing where you... There it is. So you said, Apps Hamilton is giving this network poor legal advice. I disagree. I think it's good legal advice, but he did forget to mention that this whole point about suing an individual versus suing a legal entity. Okay. So you said, I'm going to fix his legal advice pro bono because he gave pro bono legal advice. You quote him saying, there is substantial evidence that such accounts were directly controlled by Justin Sun. You replace that with Steemit Incorporated. You quote, I will not examine this evidence in detail here because it is sufficient to demonstrate that Justin Sun, strike through, Steemit Incorporated controls Dev 365, which is where all of those funds were allocated to. Quote 3, it was by these actions that Justin Sun, strike through, Steemit Incorporated, took single-handed control of the Steem blockchain, reversed the soft fork, which had temporarily suspended witness voting rights of accounts owned by Steemit Incorporated, which had never previously voted on witnesses. So you hit the nail on the head. So that being said, and then you said something about, well, even if we were able to sue, oh my God, is that Justin Sun? He's not that young. He looks like he's 12. I thought he was like a 50-year-old dude. That is him. Oh my gosh, you guys, he's just a millennial spoiled brat from China. I'm about to have a nervous breakdown cry, an ugly cry right now. This is me ugly crying. Why is he so pretty? Oh, why does he have to be pretty? Why can't he be a 60-year-old, pockmark faced, balding, hairy, old, gut infested, super wealthy, uber communistic control guy, right? Why not? Photoshop. No, Blue Robo. That is not Photoshop. His skin is way too soft for that to be just the result of Photoshop. Maybe he's older. I don't know, but he's a pretty boy. And that makes me super nervous. But let's get back. So, back to the legal argument. So Edicted makes this point and he says, listen here, even if we were able to sue LLC or Inc., Steemit Incorporated, even if we were able to sue it, how do we know he isn't going to, no, you don't even say how do we know. You just say, he's just going to, what did you say about dropping the value to 0?
He's just going to dump all the coins, conveniently get hacked, and then declare bankruptcy. He's not going to, the only people that are going to get their, everyone's going to get screwed over. Everyone who trusted in Steem and put money into it is going to get screwed over. And we all expect that to happen eventually, no matter what, but, going to happen if we go after it legally.
I love that argument. Thank you much. Okay, in my legal experience, I'm a paralegal by trade, not an attorney, so I can't give legal advice. But I will tell you, in my legal experience, working in the contracts, in the field of business and corporate and contractual law, one of the things that they'll do, in fact, even in divorce, is the court will order a freezing of assets and or a financial restraining order. And it's not like you are so bad, you're getting a restraining order. It's just what they do whenever there's a financial dispute in order, or when there is a dispute about a contract whereby assets or liquid assets or property are in question, or not in question, but in play. And so the court will say, okay, we're gonna put a financial restraining order on one or both parties, so that we can't go like selling off our assets and then going to Cancun, like shoving it off to Swiss accounts, right? It's put in place for divorce. It would basically be like, husband realizes wife's going to run off, and so he reallocates $60,000 of funds, buys a new car, gets a new house, gets a new girlfriend. No. You can't do that. Can't do that, especially when you just got served a complaint from the plaintiff who said, you owe me money. You owe me money. So it doesn't look very good, first of all. Second of all, those financial restraining orders are put in place in order to prevent this kind of activity. But what you say is, and garnishments as well. Like, let's say a ruling comes in their favor. Let's say that Hive Decentralized gets a ruling in their favor, and they're like, we're going to garnish these wages. They actually have motions and orders after the fact to also do the same thing. They're not called financial restraining orders. I can't remember what they're called, but they're super weird. But you can actually go into a company and say, if you lift a finger, if you push a key, if you even so much as sneeze, then we're gonna take you down. Like, this is not okay. So Cancun, yes, Frankie, Cancun. A gag order. It's a gag order of numbers. It's a gag order of finances. You cannot, like, even if you're not the owner of the company, if you have an employer or an executive who is being sued and has shares in the company, then you absolutely have to provide documentation, and you cannot pay them anymore. Like, there's all kinds of things you can do. But in this instance, he would totally find his way around that. He would get hacked. He would depreciate.
You can't do that at all, because he has ties to the crypto mafia. He's friends with CZ. CZ will launder all his money for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Binance represented that they were based in Malta, but then Malta came forward and said, they're actually not regulated to do business here, and everyone questioned where, what was up with Malta, and CZ said, that's just our spiritual headquarters. So they have spiritual headquarters, quote, in like a dozen different countries, and nobody knows where Binance is actually operating out of. They're like super shady.
That's super shady. Super shady. What I just can't get over, I just wish he was like 60 is the problem. It freaks me out that he's like a tween. I'm sure he's like 25, but I don't like 25-year-olds coming in and doing things like this. I'm sorry. Like, at least be an evil, like, dictator or something. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. But yeah, so he's going to get away with it. So it's like a waste of time to sue. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time to remotely do anything according to Edicted, and I can't say I disagree. But
sets a legal precedence that gets us in trouble, and it's like going toe to toe on his own turf. That's his game. Like, we can't do that.
And it sets a legal precedent that potentially gets us in trouble, because we're basically saying you can't hard fork away from assets because that's stealing. And then what is he going to do? He's going to countersue, and you better believe he's going to countersue. You better believe it. Now, let's discuss the rebuttal. And this is, guys, this is the whole point of this discussion, is that we're talking about the dangers of cryptocurrency. We're talking about the dangers of blockchain technology. We are all in love and like intoxicated with this kind of no government and sovereignty thing. And then someone like Justin Sun comes along and reminds us why maybe we sometimes are okay giving up a few of our rights to have something of a broken system called law enforcement in place. I don't know. But let's take a look at the laws, okay? Law of Texas, USA. Let's look at Texas, where Steemit Incorporated used to be based, is maybe not currently. Texas Penal Code Title 7, Chapter 31 states, and let me get the screenshot on here. Oh my gosh, Frankie! What was it he said? I love this. I love Mike Myers and I love Austin Powers. It's been so long. So long. Let me get the screenshot, you guys. Please hold. Okay. Title 7, Chapter 31. Emphasis added. Section 31.03, theft. A person commits an offense if he unlawfully appropriates property with intent to deprive the owner of property, okay? So that happened. We don't know if it was unlawful. At this point, we don't know if it was unlawful. We can say that property was appropriated with the intent to deprive the owner of it. We can definitely say that.
Of course it was unlawful. He stole the damn coins. Fuck it. I mean, what is it about stealing that people don't fucking understand? He stole the fucking coins from all those people. It is theft. It is basic street justice. I mean, the difference between Hive and what happened in this Steam shit is that Hive was uninvited to my party and he wasn't invited to that party, ergo he didn't get any coins. In the Steam case, many people had coins that were theirs, not anybody else's, and by making a hard fork code, they are stolen. Even Binance writes so on their website. I mean, it's a... How fucking legal do we have to be about this? It's theft, and justice will arrive to the one that is guilty of this. Justice always comes along. You know, you can never hide from justice. It always comes along, and it might be deadly, it might be bloody, it might be gory, but it always comes along. You don't need to worry about that. It's theft.
Okay, first of all, thank you for sticking. I miss your voice, and I love the way you use the F word with your lovely accent. Nobody says it better. Secondly, we want to establish why it was theft. So I'm getting there. Okay, so we haven't established that it's theft. Firstly, we've established that something was appropriated, and it was with the intent to deprive. An appropriation of property is unlawful if, and I get that you don't want to sit and argue about legality. It's okay. I understand you're passionate about the subject. Let's establish that it's unlawful, and appropriation of property is unlawful if it is without the owner's effective consent. Yes, we can establish that. Number 2, from the definitions of section 31.01, appropriate means to bring about a transfer or non-possessory interest in property. Yes, it is appropriated. Property means intangible personal property or real property or a document or something that represents or embodies anything of value. Yes, there's property involved. Deprive means withholding or keeping or not restoring or disposing of from the owner permanently. Yes, we've done all those things. So we know that we've appropriated property and deprived the owner of those things. And how do we know that it was unlawful? Well, obviously, we have to establish that the thing in question is a thing of property. So we've established that it's property. We've established that it was appropriated, and we've established that it was withheld. It's unlawful 100%, just like First Dickens says. Just like Firsty says. If it is done without the consent of the owners. It is done without the consent of the owners of the affected accounts. Indeed, over their strong objections. It's really that simple. This is the law of Tejas. And the law of United Kingdom is very similar. The law of, what was another one that he put in here? I feel like there was another one. Scrolling down to legal opinion, He says, Justin Sun controls Dev365 either directly or via Steemit Incorporated, which in turn controls Steam's top 20 witness list. Which in turn, you guys understand that, right? He controls directly or indirectly via Steemit Incorporated the top 20 witness list, which is responsible for the hard fork. And it doesn't even need to be all 20. It's like, what was the majority? It was like 17 out of 21. So Justin Sun controlling these witnesses are the persons responsible for implementing hard fork 23. Based on my analysis above, in my considered legal opinion, Justin Sun, or in this case it would be Steemit Incorporated, and the persons controlling the Steam accounts have committed the criminal offense of theft in relevant jurisdictions. In this case, I do think Justin Sun could be guilty only because he does own those 3 accounts, and those were part of this debacle. However, criminal conspiracy, when a group of persons works together to commit a crime, this is called criminal conspiracy. He's committed criminal conspiracy with the company and with these 3 accounts. I could go on and on. I do think we have some legitimate legal arguments here, but I will say, and I reiterate that I think Addicted makes a very good point. That how is Justin Sun not going to turn around and say that we did the same thing when we hard forked away from Steam? Again, we can argue that those accounts were not wrongfully appropriated because they belong to the people that owned those assets. But what we did do is we pulled away the stake and the share. And another thing that he does here, this is interesting. He actually kind of shoots himself in the foot here. Our little lawyer. And I'm just going to, I need to find it here. It was interesting. No, that's not the word. I can't remember. It'll have to come to me later, but he's basically saying, that these people had a choice to move over. The accounts were in place and they belonged to the people they belonged to. But the one difference is that when we hard forked away from Steam is intent. And so that's where Justin Sun may have an argument. Just legally speaking, if I were his attorney, that is the argument that I would make. I would say that when hard fork, I'm sorry guys, what was the hard fork? Away from Steam. When the Hive hard fork went into play, was it 21? I feel like it was 21.
Yeah, but that's a different thing. You know, if you make a side channel, if you make a fork out of Steam today, and you decide that you want everybody to be part of your new birthday party platform, except me and Frankie and Eric Wilson because you hate us, so you don't include us on the new fork, then so what? We weren't invited to your chain,
Right.
you know. It's not like you took anything away from us, you know. You created something new and you didn't include us in the new thing that you made. But if you gain 51% control over the chain and take away the rights from me and Frank and Eric Wilson to continue using this chain and moving our coins away, you know, that's completely different. That is taking something from us that you don't own, that is none of your business, and that's what happened in this Steam case. And you know, I don't care who's butthurt over Hive, because that nothing legal or illegal. That's not even a legal matter. You know, people are entitled to invite whoever they want to whatever they create and run on their own nodes.
I think you're making some pretty legitimate arguments in that you want to go make a birthday party platform and invite people and not invite people, that's fine. You want to go make a platform that uses the coin, though, from the old platform, that's where it gets a little tricky. Like, you can make, for instance, Splinterlands. They use their own currency as far as the actual local coin is concerned, and it's the cards, and then it's the deck. They may transact using the old coin, the Steem. They may transact on the platform that uses Steem, but their own product is built on a totally separate coin system. That's where I'm not sure. I'm not taking sides. I'm simply pointing out some philosophical arguments that are circulating. I think Versticken, I think you're right. I think it is legitimate that if you're going to go and make a new blockchain or a hard fork or set up a new system where everybody they are included and some people aren't. The only way that wouldn't work for me is if for some reason those accounts that were left behind no longer have access to them. Does that make sense? So basically, like, I make Hive blockchain and I exclude Versticken, but I don't take his funds, but in leaving the blockchain, it renders the previous blockchain useless and his funds useless. That would be interesting of an argument, would it not? If you were left behind on Steem and you didn't go over to Hive, and you weren't included on Hive, and you weren't allowed on Hive, and you had $500,000 worth of assets on the Steem blockchain that was now rendered useless because all of the witnesses decided to move to another platform and leave you behind. Even if they didn't use yours or reallocate it, it just rendered it useless. That would be a little bit wrongy wrong. I would consider that to be, I don't know what I would consider that to be. I don't know if it would be illegal. It would definitely be wrong. And that's not exactly what's happened, but I think that is kind of the premise for this argument, a little bit. But I get what you're saying, and I think you have a point. I think, though, where we're worried is that Justin Sun will have precedent to say, these guys took my blockchain. Because if we're able to prove that he did it to us, how is he not going to be able to do the same thing? We're going to have to make the nuanced distinction that we didn't take assets and we didn't take coins that didn't already belong to people. I think that's the difference. Tell me, anyone, if I'm wrong, because I'm happy to hear out anybody's point of view. In the meantime, yes, Blue Robo reminds us of an important point. The accounts that he looted, that Justin Sun looted, were frozen before. Okay, so I am wrong. Okay, interesting. You guys, I want to say my opinions, but I try to be like I don't know. I try not to say anything what my conviction is, but my conviction is absolutely what he did is wrong. I do think it was theft. I do think we can prove it. I do think it should go to a court of law, and I do think we could totally win. But I do see the danger in going, and I do see the danger of making these claims, and I do see that he's going to run off and that lily white, soft little silky skin run off and hide it. So I don't know. I don't know the answer. It would be interesting to see what ends up happening here, and I don't know exactly how to resolve it, but because of the fact that he's so well connected, I do see the danger. So those are some of the dangers. Now, pulling stake away from targeted users. Yes, we discussed this. I wanted to bring it back. If you guys want to kind of refocus our energies here, I wanted to bring this back to, what if we had a system in place where, as much as we love being on this blockchain and as much as we love having our assets staked, what if we took something like Block Card, which I was mentioning earlier, because they have they have this product where you literally enter in, they are basically an exchange. They're a central exchange. You put in your Hive, you put in your Bitcoin. Right now they don't operate with Hive. They have like 13 different coins. Let me actually pull it up. Hold on. Block Card. See if I can't find the coins that they support. Slow loading pages. Okay, they support over 12 cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, other cryptocurrencies. Looks like they have basic attention token, DAI, Ethereum, Stellar, Paxos, Turnio is their own, USD, True USD, Tether, Ripple, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. These are the coins they currently support on their exchange. What is super interesting is when Tether, ew. What is super interesting to me is that when I was talking to the CTO, and I think he's the owner as well, but I don't know if you can be both at the same time, but Daniel was his last name. Yeah, let's go find it. Daniel. What's your last name, Daniel? You can see it on this card here. Yeah, it's not loading. But Daniel, the owner, he says, listen, guys, because we know if you talk to Justine and she's trying to get us listed on all of these huge exchanges, it's like $150,000 listing fee. Super gouge my face out. Extremely expensive listing fees. She's been able to get us listed on these places at like a $0 value. Listing fees are a joke. These places are so huge, it is no skin off their hide. But starting out, yes, $100K, $130,000 to get onto the, which one was it? Why am I blanking? Poloniex? I don't even know which one it was. Binance. $130,000 that we saved just because Justine's awesome. But on those larger ones, they're so set up to just like plug you in. On the smaller ones like this guy, like, Blockcard, they've got like a small dev team. And although they do not charge to list, they do need to see some activity so that it does make it worthwhile. No, and funny, they're not actually getting listing fees off it either. Because I asked him, like, well, I don't get it. You're not charging for the listing fee. And you're not charging for the exchange transactions. Where the freak are you getting your money? Where are you getting paid? Like, how is this even beneficial to you? So their entire platform is based on feeless transactions and feeless listing. So they've got to have some way of making it up on the back end. Where they make it up is they require some monthly fee. And I think it's seriously super small, like $5 a month. Super small. So instead of having to pay every time you do a huge transaction, you're just paying $5 a month. Paying $5 a month. So if you have lots of gobs, yes, Frankie, it is that simple. I mean, I can't quote the guy, but I feel pretty confident that's what our discussion entailed, because I remember distinctly thinking, where the heck are you making your money? You're going to all this trouble? So here's the thing, and I even tried to convince him to get one of our guys, like Block Trades or somebody involved on his dev, so that we could just list ourselves on their platform and be like, hey, can we be on your coin? Can we be on your platform? Because how awesome would it be to have a credit card that you literally make it is an online bank transfer. It's like a bank transfer. It's just like going to the bank online. You go and you make a transfer, then it's on your card. You guys all have bank cards. You have a PIN number. You have a Visa. You have a card. You go to the bank. You go to the store. You transfer money you go to your ATM, put some cash in there, and then you go to the store and you take that card, and the card represents the cash that you just put into your bank account. 100%, this is how it's a bank card, and it is backed by Visa. Yes, you can get a latte. Now, granted, it is in limited participating stores. So right now, they have Apple and Google Pay support. And the stores that they operate at, I don't know all of them, but I know one of them is Walmart. I know one of them is 7-Eleven. I know another one of them is something else. So if you guys are in Europe, you're probably not going to have access to a Walmart. But if you're in South America, they got lots of Walmarts down there, and it's growing. The point is, the point is, wouldn't it be so cool if Block Card became our exchange and they were integrated with our asset pool so that we could prevent this from happening again? Because as Edicted has made very clear, and as Justin Sun has made very clear, and as Hive has made very clear, when people get pissed, they can just like make a new hard fork and be a totally new chain. And how do we know someday that isn't going to happen, where you have a whole bunch of assets that get completely snuffed out? Totally snuffed out. I mean, this is people's like entire lives that went into this. And First Dickon has every single right to be as angry as he is. Every single right. I'm not here to say he doesn't. What if there were a way to prevent that, kept things on a blockchain, kept things in an exchange, so that they couldn't be, not like, I'm not saying they shouldn't be hard forked, but I'm saying in a safer place? I don't know. At the very, very, very least, wouldn't it be cool if I could, instead of going through 3 different transfer points and taking a week to get access to my cash, I literally push a click of a button, it sucks all the Hive liquid out of my account, and I go to the store and I buy a freaking loaf of bread. You guys, if this isn't completely like lighting a fire under your butts, this is what I want to do. Is I want to challenge you all to check out Block Card. Register for the account. See if you can't do a little bit of transacting. Now, block trades, I'm not trying to take business away from block trades. What I'm trying to do is make it so that block trades will eventually have a merger with Block Card. And I do absolutely see that in the future. Absolutely see that in the future. This is not something that's like, maybe it'll happen. No, this will happen. If we get just 1,000 people from our blockchain here to transact on their account and do your exchanges through their surface, they will add Hive to their card. And it's going to be so exciting, you guys. You will actually be able to cash out your freaking money and go to Walmart. So if you or anyone you know, hey, a great buzz, thanks for coming. Apex, I don't think I said hi to you. Just want to make sure I say hi. If you or anyone you know, if you or your loved ones are suffering from not having a crypto credit card, go check them out. Block Card is the name. Crypto is the game. It's a super amazing concept. Absolutely love it to the bottom of my toes. I'm super excited. If you guys have any more questions, let me know, because I cannot think of a better product for this blockchain. And I do absolutely know with complete conviction that it will be added. We will be added if we just get a few more people. And I know that Hive.io would be extremely happy to work with these people. Absolutely no, they will be happy to work with these people. So I'm just going to kind of be bringing it up every once in a while, making sure everybody knows about it. I'm going to wag my little tongue until it is 100% happening, because it needs to happen. Okay, so I really feel like we've covered most of the material that I wanted to cover today, if not all. Want to check my little notesy notes. Securities fraud. Oh, I had a question about that, but I kind of feel like we've sort of passed it by. Does anybody have, do you guys want to open up the mics and just like have a chat? Does anybody have anything they feel like they need to say that I glossed over or did not cover well or covered badly, or maybe you disagree with? I'm just going to open it up for a minute. If no one has anything, that's totally fine too. We're not going to like force you. Edicted, I do super want to thank you for coming on today and giving us your piece of information. Thank you so much. You kind of like lightened up my day. I do think you made a valid argument. I do think that the fact that is that you were just thinking outside the box, and maybe you're completely convinced of it. Maybe you're not. Now we can go back to hating Justin Sun. Yes, we do hate Justin Sun. I kind of felt like Firsty was making something of a veiled threat, if not an actual threat right there. I don't know. Was it just me? Was it just me, or was he like, if there's going to be blood, if there's going to be violence, I'm like, he will meet his justice. And I'm like, okay. We're going to call him Justice Son because he's going to meet his justice. First, he was at you. Am I wrong? We're all on your side. I don't want to make light of the fact that people have lost their fortunes. And if it were me, I'd be after his blood. Absolutely after his blood. I wanted to just explore whether we have alternatives and what they are and what's going to happen if it happens. I think, yes, I'm with Qua. I would be wanting to hunt. I'd be down for the hunt. My best guess is I'm nervous. I'm nervous about what's going to happen because this is getting in the news, and maybe it's good. Maybe bad press is press. You know what? Any press is good press. Any press is good press. A lot of people on here do not support legal action. You support blockchain action, but we don't have rights on the Steem blockchain anymore. Coding action, we don't have coding options on the Steem blockchain. We can't do anything over there. There's nothing we can do. The only thing we have left is either some kind of legal action or some kind of brute force action. That is all we have. Yes, we have on Hive. Eric, yes, we have this action available on Hive, but we do not have access to the Steem accounts. We can't just code them out. We could have a wrestling match. I also think we could have a mud wrestling match. I think this guy's got one thing coming if he thinks he can get away with it. I think there's way too many people whose fortunes have been so-called lost because we don't know if they completely are or if there's going to be a truce of some kind. I think he's got it coming. I think he's got one thing coming. I don't know if that was a smart thing to do. You don't go pissing off a bunch of wealthy, powerful people in the blockosphere. Just my recommendation for all you guys in my little chats who are complete millionaires, self-made millionaires, don't go pissing off a bunch of super wealthy people in the cryptosphere is all I'm saying. That is the last I'm going to say on that. All I'm going to say on that. This has been a super, super fun show. Thank you, everyone, for coming along and making it an absolutely incredible, invigorating chat. Thanks, Qua, for helping with the link drops. Thanks, Addicted, for your absolutely wonderful arguments. Thank you, Firsty, for the beautiful way in which you articulate the F word. We love it. Thank you, BTC Venom, for showing up last minute and probably having no idea what we're talking about. And I'm going to go off the stream. If you guys do want to catch this later on after the fact, anytime, all my shows are uploaded to the blockchain via Hive. I also have all the recordings on a podcast, and you can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Facebook, and you can find them on Vim, although that's not going to be my podcast. You're going to find my podcast, any podcast server that you use, or whatever podcast service you use. You can find Crypto Queen in the name, and I put all my shows there, so you can just sit and seriously listen to like Little Scribe all day long. All the live long day. Be sure to like, follow, share, all the good things, and make sure and go sign up for Block Card because we need their services. We're really excited. We are all excited. That's my way of saying please get excited. Okay, love you all. Kisses, hugs, lots of fun. And we'll see you this time next week.